In this step, you're going to add your first view model to your code, a view model for the game screen. View models are made for and associated with a single fragment or activity. Since the game fragment is pretty complex, I'm going to start by making a view model for this fragment. To do that, you're going to first need to add Gradle dependencies, then you're going to create a view model class, and then finally you'll associate your fragment and your view model. I'll go ahead and open up the module app Gradle file. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom to add the dependency. The Gradle dependency that I need is the Android X Lifecycle Extensions dependency. This is what contains view model and live data. You can find the most current version of this dependency documented in the notes. Alright, let's make sure to remember to sync. Once you're done with that, you can go over to Project and make a new Kotlin file called GameViewModel. I'm going to open this up. Okay, so I'm going to make a class, GameViewModel, and importantly, this needs to extend ViewModel. Now, there's nothing in here yet. I'm going to go ahead and make an init block, and just have it print out a log statement. And that log statement is going to say GameViewModel created. View models get destroyed when the fragment or activity that the view model is associated with is finally and completely destroyed. Right before this happens, there's a callback called in the viewModel class called onCleared. I'll go ahead and also implement onCleared to keep track of the lifetime of this view model. So to override onCleared, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control-O, and I'm going to select it, say OK. And then down here, so that I know that it got called, I'm going to go and add a log statement. And this is just going to say GameViewModel destroyed. Next, in order to actually use this view model, I'm going to go over to the fragment and make sure that the fragment knows about it. So let's go ahead and open up the game fragment. To start in game fragment, I'm just going to make a field for my new view model. So it's going to be a private late init, and we'll just call it view model, and it's a game view model. Then let's go ahead and scroll down to onCreateView. Here, I'm going to want to get a reference to game view model. You never construct view models yourself. If you did, you'd end up constructing a view model every time the fragment was recreated, which wouldn't solve our rotation issue. So instead, the lifecycle library creates the view model for you. You request it from a class called viewModelProvider, which provides you with the correct view model. Here is the one-liner. There's two things I want you to notice about this. The first is that you're passing in the fragment here, using the keyword this. Second is that you pass in the specific view model class that you want here. I want a game view model, so I'm passing in game view model. The first time that this line of code is executed, and that you request a game view model from viewModelProvider, it'll create a new instance of game view model for you. And that instance of game view model is going to be associated with the class that you pass in here. When viewModelProviders is called again, it'll return a reference to a pre-existing game view model associated with this UI controller. This is what reestablishes the connection to the same view model. Alright, so I'm also going to add a log statement here, just so we can keep track of what's going on. And this log statement is just going to say called viewModelProviders of. Okay, let's go ahead and run our code. I've got my code running, and I'm taking a look at the logs over here. So now let's go ahead and go to the game fragment. And I see that that triggered two logs. I see that I'm calling the viewModelProviders of, and that's getting me the view model, and that a game view model is created. Now let's go ahead and rotate the phone and see if the game view model was created again. Well, viewModelProviders was called, but we don't see another call to game view model created. And I could do this a few times. As you can see, viewModelProviders gets called every time, but the game view model does not get recreated. Also, if I go ahead and close down the app, and I navigate back, it's not getting destroyed or recalled. Now if I permanently navigate away from the fragment by pressing back, we can see that the game view model is actually destroyed, and onCleared was called.